What is the principal key that opens the door for him to access it? David refuses. The whole life, he refuses to lift his hand against Saul. He honors him. He honors him. It didn't matter what Saul was doing, David honored him. The key of David is when a next generation, the younger generation, honors their father and mother. Yeah, I don't like it either. But I can tell you everything good in my life came from honoring the previous generation. Everything that's ever worked in this church came from honoring the previous generation. It was the key. It's how we unlocked it. And I'm telling you that we definitely need right now at this major transition, we're gonna step through the door. Society's already going. Like, you can't stop it. The page is turning. There's so much I could go into here. You know, the Lord has been predicting it, if you will, from the very beginning. He's been telling us in the stars. The God clock is telling us what time it is. We're in a day of revival. We're in a day of reformation. We're in a day where the Lord is bringing a divine reset to the world. A billion, big B, billion soul youth harvest. That is the whole next generation is supposed to come into the kingdom. What is a billion youth going to bring through that door? Because like it or not, when you and I pass away, they will be in charge and they'll be deciding what's important to them. The voice of the old do not get to dictate what the voice of the new choose to do. If you're a parent, you understand that control is an illusion. It's an illusion. No, I'm the parent. You must. Okay, well, they just pooped their pants, didn't they? You just had no say in this. Y'all, I want to help you this morning, okay? I believe in this church. I believe that we as a community have been given a gift, okay? The gift is that we understand the key of David. We understand it. It's when fathers turn their hearts toward their children and children towards their fathers. This is the spirit and mantle of Elijah that causes the next generation to step out of curses and open the new day without all that baggage. It's how we do it. I don't think there's an age cap on this, like, well, everybody younger than 30 or whatever. I don't think there's an age cap. No, this is a generation. We, the people who live right now, are a generation. When David had a son, see, all of his sons became kings, right? Son, grandson, like it went down the line of the kings of Judah. But there were many kings the scripture refers to as they did evil in the sight of the Lord. But then we would have a king like a Hezekiah, where the scripture would say, and he was doing what his father David did. And it referred to that son as a son of David. Why? Because he honored and did the things of the Lord. Because there was value placed on what the previous generation did that God was in, and they brought it through the door. I would love to revive every church in America right now. I would love to revive congregations. I would love, if I had my choice, this is what I would do. I would go into a small town that has a dying church, and as a young person, I would begin to serve that congregation and love them. I would begin to walk along. This is, by the way, if you want to understand the house church's church planting philosophy or all the missions philosophy, this is it. This is how we perpetuate the move of God, is that you go to someone who possesses something of great value and you honor and you love and you recognize what God's doing there, and then you choose to serve it. And in so doing, if you see them when they go, it will come to you. If we had a generation of young people who could recognize the value of small businesses, each one of you would become small business owners and we would revive towns. You might not be an insta-millionaire, but can I tell you the words of Jesus? You might want to get out of the buying and selling of homes to make quick cash, let go of the property world, and begin to invest in young people. If you will choose to honor your father and mother, the land will open up to you and you will become those who steward what previous generations have walked in. The land won't cut you off. You'll be accepted, you'll be received, and suddenly you'll find yourself in possession and stewarding an authority. And I'm telling you right now, all of us are a generation. There are gaps in our families. There are what we would call prodigal children. There are broken down relationships. If I was someone who was in my 80s or 70s and I was a grandfather and I could look at the gaps in my family, I would give everything in me to serve and to love, to turn my heart towards those kids, to mend the gaps in those families. That's what I would do. Because I would know the long game, because I know that without honor, stuff won't pass on. That is of great value. I know that you and I are meant and called to build bridges, and that the inheritance of a previous generation is waiting for you to humble yourself and go and submit or love or honor until it passes. Because it's not meant to go to the grave. I look around this congregation and I'm like, y'all, you have in your generations, in your history, you have 1,000 generations of blessing. It exists. And there is only 3 or 4 generations of curse. And so if your mind and your heart are fully embraced in the what has been taken from you, or what you're in pain from, or blaming somebody, or whatever that is, rise up out of those ashes and see that there is 1,000 generations of blessing waiting for you.